This is TOS Television, your digital-first Pan-African news network. I am Rose Audu, and this is Africa Now. We begin with Paris, where a tribute march was organized on Sunday to mark 60 years of the bloody police crackdown on the protests by Algerians in the French capital during the final year of their country's independence war with its colonial power. Human rights and anti-racism groups and Algerian associations in France joined in the protest march, calling on authorities to further recognize the French state's responsibilities related to Algeria's independence war and to further open up archives. The commemoration comes after French President Emmanuel Macron acknowledged that crimes committed on October 17, 1961, which authorities have sought to cover up for decades, were inexcusable for the Republic. The leader of Western Sahara's Polisario Front, Brahim Ghali, says that the independence-seeking Sahrawi army will continue attacking Moroccan positions in the disputed northwestern African territory, except the United Nations appointed envoy is given a clear mandate to deliver on a self-determination vote. Speaking on Saturday, Brahim Ghali urged United Nations Security Council members to establish a clear mandate for the decolonization of Western Sahara and the organization of a referendum on self-determination at the Council's scheduled meeting on October 28. The United Nations considers Western Sahara as Africa's last territory to be decolonized, but its envoys have failed to set the stage for a referendum on its future since a ceasefire was signed 30 years ago between Morocco, which had annexed it in 1975, and the independence-seeking Polisario Front. In politics, as well, Ivorian President Laurent Gbagbo on Sunday launched a new political party, the African People's Party's Congress, marking his return to the forefront of the political scene after 10 years of absence. Gbagbo was elected at the head of the PPA by some 1,600 delegates on Saturday night as he seeks to reunite the left and use the occasion as a springboard to the 2025 presidential election. Political representatives from a dozen African countries attended the Congress. For his supporters, it is a new beginning for social cohesion in Côte d'Ivoire. And still talking politics, according to provisional results published on an official website, former Cape Verdean Prime Minister José Maria Neves won first round of the presidential election on Sunday, citing an example of democratic success in West Africa. The verse 61, a member of the African Party for the Independence of Cape Verde and head of government from 2001 to 2016, won 51.5% of the vote, an absolute majority needed to be elected in the first round, according to the results from 97% of polling stations. He is well ahead of Carlos Viega of the Movement for Democracy. Viega, 71, who is also a former prime minister from 1991 to 2000, obtained a 42.6% of the vote, according to the same results. And the 27th edition of the Pan-African Film and Television Festival has been launched in the capital of Burkina Faso, Ouagadougou. It had in attendance Burkina President Marc Christian Kabore. Kabore said the staging of the festival was a show of the resilience of the Burkina people in the face of security and health constraints. According to him, the theme that was chosen, which aims to understand the difficulties, constraints, prospects of African cinema, is a theme that is important, and it will be necessary that all the actors of this world look at it so that we can remove all the barriers that prevent African cinema from thriving. And this is your digital-first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television. You're watching Africa Now. More stories coming your way right after this break, so stay tuned. Thank you for staying with us. Malawian government said it received medical supplies and personal protective equipment from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia to assist in the management and containment of COVID-19 pandemic in the country. It was gathered that the medical supplies comprises 950,000 of examination gloves, 1,230,250 surgical masks, 118,000 of protective masks and 150,000 surgical gowns valued at 295 million. The Deputy Minister of Health, Chrissy Kamula, received the donation on behalf of the Malawian government during a brief handover ceremony that took place at the Ministry of Health headquarters in Lilongwe. The Saudi Arabian Deputy Ambassador to Malawi, Nasser Mohammed, said the donation demonstrates his government's commitment to working with its bilateral partners in the fight against the pandemic. And police on Monday confirmed 2 people killed while several others were injured when an improvised explosive device detonated at a restaurant near a police station in Somalia's central town of Beltwin. The attack was said to have occurred as senior government officials were staying at the restaurant in central Somalia. According to the local police, the Fulfur district mayor was among the 2 killed in the attack. There was no immediate claim of responsibility for the latest attack. On security report, the United Kingdom has advised its citizens living in Africa's most populous country, Nigeria, to stay away from 12 states as it claimed that the Boko Haram insurgents are likely to kidnap foreigners. The UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, FCDO, said there was a high risk of kidnapping throughout Nigeria for ideological, financial or political gain in a travel advisory for its national weekend. The state listed are Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Gombe, Kaduna, Katsina, Zamfara, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River State. Rivers are among the states. The UK government also advised its citizens to exercise caution as events commemorating the 1-year anniversary of the #EndSARS protest in Lagos and Abuja may result in additional protests, as well as the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, scheduled for October 21 in Abuja and the southeast, which may result in protests and increased security presence. And Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has said the country will stop receiving food aid to avoid foreign pressure on the government. The Prime Minister was speaking during a visit to a wheat farm in Oromia region. Ethiopia, which is among major aid recipient countries, is facing increasing pressure from some Western governments over the conflict in its northern Tigray region, where millions are at risk of starvation. And just before we go, Egypt has unveiled plan to block unvaccinated civil servants from entering government buildings from mid-November. According to Cabinet on Sunday, workers must be vaccinated against the coronavirus or be ready to take a weekly COVID test in order to be allowed into government buildings from 15th of November. The Cabinet also allowed the opening up of bathrooms in mosques from Wednesday. The bathrooms were closed in March last year as part of measures to contain the spread of the coronavirus. The government has so far allocated £1 billion Egyptian pounds to address the pandemic. And that is Africa Now. For more updates, do visit our website at www.tostvnetwork.com. Do follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on TOS Television Network. I am Rose Audu.